Neoformers, mount up! Hey there, I'm Bryant Cook. Today we're playing NeoBrand in Modern, and I've played a variation of this deck a dozen times here on the channel. I've been in love with this deck for over the last year, but more recently I've been playing a different list. In front of you is a list that wins with Thrasta, Tempest, Roar. I've been playing a list that wins with Gut Shot by looping Endurance, wherever that is. Here we go. So the lists are very similar minus the win package. That's the difference today. So let's actually start from the beginning. Let's say you've never watched a single Neoform video. How does this deck work? Well, the idea is that you want to cast the Allosaurus Rider for its alternative cost, which is exiling 2 green cards from your hand. Okay, so you exile things like Chancellor of the Tangle or Turn-Turn Symbiosis. You play this Rider. From there, you want to play Neoform, and you can even accelerate into it in this list by using Chancellor of the Tangle. So it's possible to play Neoform on the first turn and win the game. Cool. So you've sacrificed your 7 mana value creature, and now you can get an 8 mana value creature. Well, hello, Griselbrand. Okay, so Griselbrand's in the deck, so you put it onto the battlefield, you draw 7 cards. From there, you can cast a Nourishing Shoal, pitching Autochthon Wurm, and then draw more cards, and eventually you play a Mox Amber, and then Zeranorb, you play a Springleaf Drum, and from there you can play Heritage Druid. You tap Heritage Druid and 2 other Allosaurus Riders to make triple green. You play a Thrasta, Tempest, Roar, and then you can cast a Fortifying Draft. So in previous lists, we had issues getting down to the right number of cards in deck. I think this list actually fixes that a little bit. So today we're playing Manamorphose. And the reason why it becomes an issue is we have 1 Mox Amber, 1 Zeranorb. So we need to get to a point where we can... You want your deck to be a multiple of 7, pretty much. So that way you can bring it down to exactly 0 cards. But there will be a subset of games where that's not possible. Well, Manamorphose allows you to draw the last few cards in your deck in those games. So you can almost always guarantee the Mox Amber or Zeranorb. So that's really nice. But on top of that, Manamorphose allows you to beat Blood Moon decks. And Blood Moon has been really popular recently due to all the 5-color creativity decks and 5-color shardless, whatever piles that you want to call them. So Manamorphose is dual purpose in this list over something like Abundant Harvest. But why would we return to this list over the shots list? Like, I've actually really enjoyed the Gut Shot Endurance package because you have better cards in your deck, in my opinion. Gut Shot answers Ragavan, Dragon's Rage Channeler, Hammer Time creatures. Endurance is good against decks like a Living End. So why come back to this dinosaur list where we have Fortifying Draft? I mean, not exactly on the same power level as Endurance. And then Mox Amber and Springleaf Drum, right? I think it's a fair question. Well, when we look at the modern metagame, a lot of graveyard hate has popped up. We're seeing Leyline of the Void in a lot of sideboards and Dauthi Voidwalker in other sideboards or even main decks. More likely in the main deck. But the Neo Shot list can't actually beat a Dauthi Voidwalker. And it struggles against Leyline of the Void because you don't board in Force of Vigor out of the blue in most matchups. So you're going to lose some number of games to being surprised by a Leyline of the Void. Because of that, I really like the dinosaur list at the moment, which allows you to completely ignore the graveyard. Like, we don't care about it one bit, and you just get to put a giant T-Rex onto the battlefield and attack for lethal. So I don't believe I actually got to that point when I was describing the deck. So we make 3 green with the Heritage Druid, we play Thrasta, and then Fortifying Draft, which says you gain 2 life, target creature gains +X where X is the number of life you've gained. Well, we are a 4 Nourishing Shoal deck, so your Thrasta is typically pretty big, larger than a 50-50. So it's going to KO your opponent. But since the last time that I've played this version, because I don't think I've played this version in 6+ months. In fact, that I know I haven't, because right before Star City Games Syracuse is when we discovered the Gut Shot list. And I haven't played this build much since. I mean, I played it in a few non-recorded leagues and it was miserable. But I think the metagame has shifted, and that's why I'm interested in it again. So I believe I won the Legacy one like back in August. So it's been a while. It's been some time. But a big difference. I'm going off the rails here. But a big difference is that this version I've never played with Glittering Wish. So we have some extra consistency over something like Serum Visions. I've actually really enjoyed the Wish package, and I don't plan on going back to like a Serum Visions Abundant Harvest build. You could choose to not run Glittering Wish and run Abundant Harvest instead and play the main deck 4th Neoform. So you're able to turn one more often, but you're less consistent overall. That's the idea. And I don't want that. I want to be consistent. So that's what we're doing here today. All right, you've listened to me ramble for 5.5 minutes now. Why don't we just hop on in and play some games? You can see the deck will be great, I promise. So I'll see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, early access to videos, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, such as theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We're on the draw. So here we have a little bit of a weird one. We have an Eldritch Evolution. We have double turn Timber Symbiosis. So there's only one other Griselbrand in the deck. We need to avoid drawing it, but we have 2-land Evolution and a Rider. I think I'm going to keep this. It's a little bit slow, but I think it's worthwhile. It looks like we're facing Burn. Goblin Guide. Okay. They attack. Oh no, our top card is the other Griselbrand. I can't actually win. Just my luck. Wow. The only way to win this game, so technically there is a way to win, but it's super unlikely. We need to draw a Fortifying Draft and then attack with a Rider and then pump it by pitching a Worm. It's so unlikely. Wow. How brutal that we just drew the 1 of 52 or 53. Unreal. Oh, geez. We get City of Brass. It doesn't even matter anymore. Sure, let's go to the next one. You got me. Jeez Louise. So I think we actually want the Leyline of Sanctities versus Burn. That's going to buy us a lot of time. We can get rid of the Pact of Negations. So we need to cut 2 cards. I wonder if we could board out the Manamorphose, or at least a couple of them. You could board in Force of Vigor, but then you run the risk of... what am I trying to say here? You run the risk of not being able to clear your deck, but you could guarantee clear an Eidolon. I'm going to leave it. Let's submit this. Game 2, we're on the play versus Burn, which should be a fantastic matchup. Alright, so we have 2 lands, we have the Rider, and we have a Leyline. So all I need to do is draw green cards that aren't Griselbrand. We were burned in game 1. I'm ready to be hurt again. Okay. So we're going to play this. So the nice part here is that we can just put a Griselbrand onto the battlefield and not have to pay 7 life. We can just have an 8/8 lifelinker. It's Leyline of Sanctity, a card that does not get us a Rider on our turn. That's brutal. We'll play the Mana Confluence past the turn. We just needed a green card there. They attack with a Goblin Guide. It's a Gemstone Mine. Okay. Fiery Islet. Roiling Vortex. So that's going to make me take 5 off the Rider. Okay. Draw. So we will lose a bunch of life here, but I do get to put an 8/8 lifelinker onto the battlefield. Granted, they have a Roiling Vortex now, but... Okay, so we're at 10. Undo. We might actually lose this. There's a big old demon. So I could try to draw into one of 3 shoals right now, but I guess I'm not even paying mana for it, so that doesn't work the way I want it to. Okay, so they go to 18. Land number 3 for them. They suspend a Riftbolt. Okay. We take 1 off the Vortex, going to 9. I guess I'll play a breeding pool. Let's attack them with the demon. They're going to lose 1 life here, make sure that I can't gain life using the Roiling Vortex. So they're going to go to 9. So I have lethal on board. Because they're going to 9, the Roiling Vortex puts them to 8. And then I have a 8/8 next turn. So seeing the Roiling Vortex, I am definitely interested in Force of Vigor if there is a game 3. The Rift Bolt probably goes at my Griselbrand here because it can't target me. Oh, they take 5 off the Rift Bolt. Sure. Combo. So they can go to 1 and use the Wooded Foothills. They swing for 4. Fortifying Draft is my top card. I'm at 6 life. Skewer the Critics targeting my Griselbrand. Okay. They have 2 cards. And we win. Sweet. So we're definitely interested in these Force of Vigors. Do I want to board out Manamorphose? So another thing we could do here is say we don't have the time for Glittering Wish in this matchup. Board in Neoform and then bring in the Force of Vigors and another Manamorphose, which I don't hate. Like, this seems reasonable to me. I'm down to try this. I've never considered boarding out the, what is it called? Glittering Wish before, but it makes sense. Here we've opened up an unplayable 7. We will be shipping this back. So we have the Force of Vigor. We have Leyline. The problem is that we don't have access to Neoform or the Rider. So this hand doesn't actually get to play Magic. We should just go to 5. We have Neoform. We're missing the Dino. Or technically it's a Rider, but... so we'll put back Griselbrand. If I put back the land, we leave ourselves the out of a turn 1. So I think I'm going to do this. So we'll keep... Summoner's Pact off the top wins, Rider off the top wins. So we have 8 cards that win the game, and I could even Manamorphose to potentially try to make that happen. Goblin Guide. Classic opener. Come on, deck, please. Mana Confluence. Please, deck. Please. Yes! Turn 1. Let's go. Chancellor of the Tangle. Play the Gemstone. We're going to remove these 2. Actually, do I want to leave a 7 in my hand just in case I don't draw a high card for... yeah, I think I do. For the Shoal. Play Neoform. So we can draw 7 here and go to 11. They shouldn't be able to kill me from 11. And we don't have to go for it. I can pass the turn here. I feel like going to 4 life is very risky for no reason. Let's play the Rider. And then pass the turn. Okay, so they play a Mountain. And they're passing. Love it. Draw. Another Rider. We'll play Mana Confluence. Our creature is now a 3/3. I'm worried about Deflecting Swat here. Or not Deflecting Swat, Deflecting Palm here. Let's attack. No blocks. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to play another Rider. They're at 12 life. I guess I'll play a Heritage Druid. I don't think it does a whole lot of good for me, but kind of free. And then we'll pass. Lightning Helix on my Druid. You got it. So they're up to 15. They have 3 cards in hand. Draw for turn. It's a Summoner's Pact. We'll play our City of Brasses. And now we're swinging for 16 here. Swing. Our opponent decides to block a Rider, so there's 12 damage coming in. We're at 27. Maybe we just pass. 4 cards in hand. And a concession. So I know that we had the potential to win on turn 1, but I want everyone to understand the risk that I would have had just paying 7 life to draw 7 and then not hitting the Nourishing Shoal, where we took this kind of boring line that was really conservative, but it was highly likely to win. And here it did. So we're 1-0 to start off this league. I'm sorry I didn't actually win the game on turn 1 despite having a turn 1 Neoform, but I like winning even more than I like sweet plays. Might not be a popular thing to say as a YouTuber, but it's true. All right, match 2 coming up. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. Round 2 on the play, Neoform. Okay, so we have a Chancellor for 1 green. We have Summoner's Pact for another. Unfortunately, this hand is missing a land. And, well, we don't have Neoform, so we're going to ship it down to 6. We have Neoform, we have the Rider, no lands. Fortunate. Okay, so now we're down to 5 where things start getting a little bit dicey. Unfortunately, this hand just isn't very good. I'd rather take my chance on a 4. I guess we'll get rid of Thrasta, the Drum, and a Chancellor. So we need a lot of things to go right in order to win this. We'll reveal Chancellor. So the reason to keep Chancellor here is it does allow you to turn 1 Glittering Wish. Not that it's super important based on the context of our hand, but it allows you to set up a little bit, and having Chancellor in hand to pitch to the Rider isn't the worst. So we're about to go get a Neoform, and then we're a Rider and a spare green card away on 4 cards. We have to hope that our opponent's playing a matchup where they can't really interact. Maybe something like Yawgmoth, but it's possible. Alright, Steam Vents is not the land we wanted to see based on a mulligan of 4. Old Ragavan, sure. Okay, well, it's technically possible. We need our opponent to tap out like a fool and draw a green card, but possibility's there. Okay. We go to 17. Ragavan hits. An Evolution. Channeler, come on, tap out. Tap out. No fun. Draw. So we can disrespect our opponent, or we can wait. So we have 2 summoners, or 2 Pact and Negation in the main deck that make waiting better, but our opponent's going to get to sculpt. I think that waiting is honestly just kind of a trap. So we'll tap for blue-green. City of Brass happens. And I want to... I mean, I don't necessarily need to do it in this order, but I don't want to play my Rider and then tap City and have my Rider die to a Lightning Bolt. So I didn't need to tap it in that order, but it's what I did. Consider, come on, no whammies. I was actually looking at lists earlier today, and a lot of Izzet lists are down to 1 Spell Pierce in the main. Come on, no whammies, please. Main deck Blood Moon, wow. Okay. Summoner's Pact. You have the main deck Spell Pierce. Once they tapped the Consider, I was like, okay, there's a reasonable chance here that we get to go. I'm not supposed to pay for this because I can't afford to. So here I took 2 damage for no reason. So don't tap your lands first. That was just bad play. Yeah, that was dumb. Okay, we'll pass the turn. I don't know what I was thinking. So I took 2 damage for no reason. And now we're taking 5 down to 10 life. A Rider off the top would be good for us. Breeding Pool is exiled to the Ragavan. They have 3 cards in hand. Draw. Okay, I'm going to concede. Game 2. They have Blood Moon. So we want Veil of Summer. We want the Pact of Negations. I'm thinking that maybe we board out the Glittering Wish in this matchup again. I'm not sure. We only have so many slots, right? And I don't know if this is a luxury that we can afford. Versus, like, Izzet is just so efficient. And this is kind of clunky. So that brings us down to 62. We need Manamorphose if they're going to be a Blood Moon list. I have boarded down Chancellors in the past. So alternatively, we could board out Chancellor altogether. and then keep our Glittering Wishes, and then board out one other card. On the play, I kind of like the idea of just like turn oneing them though. But maybe that's not possible when I'm playing Veil of Summers and Pact of Negations. I should just play for consistency. Alright, I'm going to board out the Glittering Wishes. Keep 2 Chancellors, maybe. Could also board in the Guttural Response over a Chancellor. Could also do this. Board in the Guttural Response and the Call. I don't hate it. Let's try this out. Alright, 7 cards. We have double land. We have a Rider. We don't have a Neoform. Or a blue source. We do have double backup, though. I think I'm supposed to mulligan. Okay, so this is actually pretty good. We have the Rider, we have Evolution, and we have a protection spell. I need to draw a single land in order to make this hand functional. Keep bottom the Griselbrand. I'm going to play the Turn Timber first, which might be a mistake, but if I draw into Neoform, I'm able to jam early without having to Lightning Bolt myself. So there is a little bit of equity in making this play. The downside is if I draw running lands and then am short on green cards. They play a turn 1 Scalding Tarn. Okay, we just need a land off the top. Steam Vents. Shredder. So they're disrespecting me here. If I can just draw a land or a Neoform. Come on, deck. We have a lot of hits here. They draw off Bobble. Please? Nope. Disappointment. We'll pass. Polluted Delta. They grabbed a basic. Do you have the Blood Moon? They dash a Ragavan after looking at my top card. Is it a card you're interested in? So they're attacking for 4. I'll go to 16. It was a Summoner's Pact. Okay, we don't actually want that. Come on, deck. Give me a land, please. They draw off Bobble. There we go. Alright, so we can cast the Rider here. Pitch Dinosaur. Summoner's Pact. And now we need to announce this spell first. So that way they can't bolt in response. This is what I should have done in the previous game. But I was a dummy. Ledger Shredder happens. Discards Unholy Heat. We go to 15 off the City of Brass. Evolution. We have Pact of Negation backup, but it doesn't beat a Philosopher's Storm. Okay, so we are now 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Match 3 on the play. Griselbrand, what is up, my dude? You gotta quit being in my opening 7s. Mulligan. Keep. We'll bottom the Mox Amber. Actually, it's Mox Amber or land 3. I think it's actually land 3. Having the Amber in hand means that you're less likely to fizzle mid-combo. We will play Breeding Pool, pass the turn. Any green card off the top means that we're able to go for a win. Sacred Foundry could be burn again. Draw. Griselbrand, you are such a disappointment. Alright, Gemstone Mine pass. Flagstones. No way. Oh, I'm punished for putting back land 3. Ah, brutal. So now we need land 3 and a green card. Okay. There's our green card. Now we need another land. We know that we have 17 lands total, and I put one of them on the bottom. So we're facing some sort of like Ponza Prison deck? Sure. Alright, game 2. That was miserable. Somebody's going to be like, Brian, you conceded too early. I'm not playing the rest of that. All right, so I understand there was 2 lands in the top 4, whatever. I don't want to play that game. Get rid of Pact of Negation. Bring in Force of Vigor. Submit. Gain 2 on the play. Mulligan. So we have Neoform, we have a Chancellor, but no land, no access to the Rider. We'll go to 5. We're going to 4. I guess we'll keep this. We'll put back a Wish, this, and that. So we're able to go turn 1, go get a Neoform with this Wish. And I believe... actually, no, we're a green card and a land short. We've probably already lost this. They're just going to destroy my land. But we'll go get Neoform. So my next 2 draw steps need to be land, green card, and for our opponent to not destroy my land. Okay, well, there's 2 lands. Can we draw a green card? They're passing. Draw. Boom. And we don't even have to Summoner's Pact. So now we'll cast this. Blue, green, sack the Rider. We go to 19. Demon on the battlefield. Ouch. We're at 12. I still have a land drop. Let's go to 5. There's no shoal in here? Okay. Mulligan to 4, and here we are. Okay, so we have a giant demon on the battlefield. I wonder what our opponent kept. I mean, they kept a 7 too. Was I not supposed to discard the Pact? Alright, well, it's just a Cleansing Wildfire. Okay. Draw for turn. Let's lose my land. I'm going to play a couple copies of Manamorphose here. See if we can draw into the shoal just to create an easy win. Blue-green. No such luck. Play the drum. We'll play draft on the Griselbrand. Attack for 10. Pass the turn. Sweet. Mulligan to 4 gets there. Okay, so being on the draw, they've shown us at least... I mean, I think that they have 8 2-mana destroy a land effects. So it's going to be tough for us. I think we really just want to lean on Chancellor of the Tangle into a turn 1. And if that's the case, do we want to board in the Neoform, but then Glittering Wish gets really bad? I don't think we do. Sorry, I'm like choking. Just so emotional over this. Yeah, we'll just resubmit. So we have a Chancellor. We have a Neoform. What we don't have is the land. So if there's a land on the top, this is a turn 1, and they've kept 7. We have 17 lands in the deck. The problem is if we miss the land, we're probably never winning this. I'm sorry, we have 16 lands. So it's a 30% chance to hit. I think you're supposed to just be more disciplined in Mulligan. And now we've opened up a turn 1. Get rid of a Mana Confluence. There's a Chancellor. Veilcut Stoneforge. Boom. So by drawing the green card here, we're able to keep the shoal in hand to make winning easier. Let's get rid of these 2. Neoform! There's a demon. Draw 7. We will pitch the worm, and now we draw a whole bunch because it gives us 2 triggers because it gains 15. So we have 31 cards in our deck. We want to get that down to 28, so let's use some packs. I don't think we've actually won with Thrasta yet. Okay, so 29 cards. Do we have another Summoner's Pact? We do not. Let's draw 7. This brings us down to 6. And there's another Summoner's Pact. So let's use that. And now we'll use the Nourishing Shoal to remove a Thrasta from the game and gain 12. Draw 7. Draw 7. We'll play a Rider. Play another Rider. Play another Rider. There's our Amber. So now we just need the the Druid, and Springleaf Drum. Alright, so this draws the last 7 cards in the deck. So now we are deckless. Play Zern Orb. I don't know, we can. So the Springleaf Drum is somewhere in here. Well, there's the Druid. And there's the Drum. Okay. So we'll tap the Griselbrand. And now we'll play Druid. Now we tap for 3 green. Play Thrasta. And now we'll pitch the last Shoal. We'll gain 7 more. Use the Zern Orb. We'll sacrifice our land because we can. And then Fortifying Draft on the Thrasta. 52/52 haste, trample over planeswalkers. Can't be targeted this turn by our opponent. We have turn 1 attacked our opponent for lethal with a dinosaur. Hell yeah. Alright, so we are now 2-1, 2 matches left to go. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Match 4, we're on the draw. We're going to keep, reveal our Chancellor of the Tangle, and while this hand's pretty good, we have turn 1 Glittering Wish to go get the sideboard copy of Neoform. And then we have Summoner's Pact to go get the Rider for turn 2. We also have Eldritch Evolution as backup. Unfortunately, we're facing Izzet again. What a boring nobody deck. I hate that deck. It's just so lame. Glittering Wish. Yes, I mean, alternatively, I could go get Guttural Response and try to build up to a 4-mana protected Eldritch Evolution line. I think I'm just going to grab Neoform, though. Just have to hope that I naturally draw a Pact to Negation or a second copy of Glittering Wish. Okay, well, it's not Izzet. Alright, I still believe in everything I said about Izzet, though. That deck is super boring. Steam Vents, come on, play Wrenn and 6, please. Yes. Okay. Let's go. Alright, so step 1 is Summoner's Pact. Let's go get the Rider. Play City of Brass. And then play the Rider, exiling these 2, I guess. Play Neoform. Blue, green. I'm just going to do it properly for the rest of time after how badly I was embarrassed earlier in this video. Like, I'm just going to always do it this way. I learned my lesson. Alright, draw 7. No Solitude. Okay, so we have to draw into the Shoal here. If we don't, I'm dead to the Pact. Draw 7. We did hit a Shoal. Okay. We did not hit another Summoner's Pact. So I can remove the dinosaur. That brings us up to 17, and I get 2 more copies of Griselbrand activations. Okay, activate the Griselbrand. And we'll go to 3 life. 21 cards left. So our deck is already a multiple of 7. We don't really want to change that, so we don't want to cast Summoner's Pact. Sacrifice my 2 lands. We don't want to exile the Thrasta. We need that in order to win. We have the Drum. We don't have Mox Opal. That's the one we're missing. We already have the Druid. So we just need to find Mox Opal. Alright, so we'll cast this first Shoal. Remove this dummy. So this gives us 1 more activation. What are you thinking so long about? I mean, if you were sitting on a Solitude all this time, you missed your window. But I'm pretty sure this is also just creativity. Alright. Our gain 7 is resolved. Now we'll draw 7. They still keep on pretending to try to cast cards. Like, I have already committed. Whatever trick you're trying to pull over just doesn't make sense. Like, you can't trick someone into not winning when they've already cast Summoner's Pact. Okay, well, I'll gain 15. This lets me draw the rest of the deck. And now we have no library left. And there's the Mox Opal. We'll play a dinosaur, exile a Metamorphose, and an Evolution. I keep on calling it a dinosaur. It's actually not a dinosaur. It's just me lying to you. We'll gain 7 more. Alright, Rider, pitch the Wish, and a Neoform. Play another rider. Exile these two. There's our drum. We'll play drum. Tap for a green. I saw the druid somewhere up here, I think. There it is. And now we'll tap the druid, tap these. Where's my dino best friend? Play the fortifying draft. 54-54. Let's kill the Renin 6 for good measure. Okay, so they have allowed us to go to blockers. We're going to trample over the Renin 6 for 50 damage. Seems reasonable. Although the math here is a little odd. It only let me put them to... Oh, no, that's actually... That's correct. Never mind. Negative 33 is correct. Ignore me. Math is tough. 15 minus 20 is negative 33 from 17. Yeah. Okay. My math was weird there, but it makes sense. So we're facing creativity. They have flusters in the sideboard, so we're definitely interested in Veils. They do have... It depends on the list that they're playing. So let me bring this over for everyone to see. So there's this list that doesn't have white in it. And then there's this list that has white in it for Leyline Binding. If we want to play around Leyline Binding, Pact to Negation is good. But if they don't have white, then Pact is almost useless. I mean, I guess... Actually, does the Jund list... No, the Jund list wouldn't have Spell Pierce. So, I'm not really sure. Like, we didn't get a good read there. I guess we saw a Steam Vent, so it's safe to assume that they have blue. Which probably means that they have white. So, we like Pact to Negation. 65. I guess technically I don't need Neoform. Or I don't need Manamorphose. They shouldn't be a Blood Moon deck. So we could probably actually board out Manamorphose and keep the Glittering Wish, board out Neoform. That's 61. What if I board out one Pact? Sure, let's try it. Chancellor. So we have no way to get Neoform or anything like it. So which means that the Chancellor is almost useless. Let's mulligan. I mean, this isn't bad. It's just really slow. Very, very slow. Okay, Rider down. Opponent with a mulligan to 5. Dwarven Mine. Sure thing. Another evolution. We'll play the Turn Timber. If we were facing the Jund version of this deck, I'd probably hold open Veil of Summer. But we saw the Steam Vent, so they shouldn't have Thoughtseize. Stomping Ground, so it looks like we're about to see a Renin 6 here. Yep. Neoform off the top rope, please. Pretty please. Draw. Nope. We have to pass. Land 3. They grab a Steam Vents. They return the Wooded Foothills. Not surprised they're passing, possibly with a Flusterstorm in hand. Draw. It's a wish. So we can go get a Neoform, and then any land gives us Veil Pact backup. They Spell Pierce. Okay. Pass the turn. Wooded Foothills, 4 cards in hand. They fetch. I imagine they're getting a Dwarven Mine here. Okay, so they are playing white. They return. So now they could have Leyline Binding and Counter Magic up. Draw. There's our land. So I'm able to go for it here, but if they have 2 pieces or 2 ways to interact, it's really bad for me. Am I crazy for wanting to wait? I mean, they're not doing anything. I'm going to try to wait a turn. They fetch again. This time they get the Dwarven Mine. Returns Wooded Foothills. Okay. We want to see a land off the top rope. That is not a land. I think I'm going to remain patient. If they wanted to creativity, they could have done it by now. The ultimate, the Wren. I'm not actually worried about that. Maybe I should be, but I'm not. Because they're still choked on colors here, so it means 1 Spell Pierce. And they probably have another blue card in hand already. Fable, okay. So they're swinging for 1, we'll go to 18. This does seem like a really good spot to go for if I can manage to draw a land. Draw. Chancellor of the Tangle. I think I might be obligated to push here. Play Rider. Evolution. We're dead to a fluster. We will pack your Spell Pierce. Evolution. So they do have Leyline Binding enabled. I'm going to play Mox Amber to see if we can get them to try to target the Griselbrand here. Come on, target the Griselbrand, please. They didn't fall for it. Okay, so we have to activate here. Now they can respond with Leyline Binding. So we have 2 packs left in the deck, but we can also get more draws, assuming that we... what am I trying to say here? Assuming that we hit a shoal. I will draw 7. We hit the Pact. We'll cast Pact. Yes, we got there. 3-1. We were patient, it paid off, and now let's go get match number 5. Want early access to articles at theepicstorm.com? Become a member of our Patreon to get articles 7 days early, on top of other sweet benefits, and help us pay our website team. You can sign up at patreon.com/theepicstorm. The 5th and final round, we're on the draw, so we have Neoform, which is great. We have Glittering Wish, which can go get, what is it called? Eldritch Call, and that can go get a Rider. We have Chancellor to accelerate that, so we need to draw a second land, or a Summoner's Pact, or the Rider itself. This seems reasonable enough. I'm going to keep. We also have Manamorphose as a redraw on the first turn to potentially hit Rider or Summoner's Pact for a turn 1. Okay, reveal the Chancellor. Sacred Foundry, okay. Draw. Of course it's the demon. What else would it be? Ouch. Manamorphose. I think you're supposed to just make green-white for the Glittering Wish. And now we'll go get Call. We need to draw a second land. Okay, so it's not Burn. Wall of Omens. Sure. Draw. Discard Griselbrand. Not the spot I wanted to be in here. Aether Channeler. What's that do? Creates a 1/1, returns a non-land permanent to its owner's hand, draw a card. Sure. Land off the top, please. Another Chancellor. I think we're just going to gain 7. Pass. Channeler gets in. We'll go to 24. Lavinia. What? Okay, we do lose to Lavinia. And actually, our deck is pretty cold to Lavinia. So that's not something we want to see. Veil of Summer helps. Okay. I guess we have Abrupt Decay. So technically we had an out. We want these packs. Let's get rid of Manamorphose. We don't need that in this matchup. So that's 62. Let's not board out Glittering Wish. Board out 1 Chancellor. Submit. On the play for game 2. This does the thing, but it's very slow and there's no protection. I think we can do better. And we're going to 5. Ay, ay, ay. Put back these 2. Not feeling so good about this. I mean, I could have kept the 6. It was just very slow. Or was it a 7? I don't remember. Okay, they play a Triome. Chancellor, what a terrible draw. Pass. Flooded Strand. And there's Lavinia. We draw Evolution past the turn. So now we have to draw into Wish into Abrupt Decay. They skipped their attack step on accident. Land 3. Unfortunately, we can't go for it. Summoner's Pact would be countered, so would the Rider. Veil of Summer eventually beats Lavinia if we could draw into it and a 4th land. Ice Fang Quaddle, sure. They swing for 3, we'll go to 17. They have their own evolution. Meddling Mage, okay. So they're just on like Bant Hate Bears? Neoform. Okay. Draw. Another evolution. Pass. Another swinging for 4. I guess it's 4 color hate bears. Whatever. Pass the turn. So next turn they knock us down to 10. Starting to look pretty grim. Endurance. So now they're swinging for 6. Yeah, the window's closing. So one thing that I talked about in the deck tech for today was how the gut shot version was weak to creatures. This version is still weak to creatures, just less weak. We're not playing anything like Snapback because we don't have a high enough blue count. But resolve creatures tend to be a problem. And traditionally, you can play, what is it called? Colossal Skywhale, but it's you play it so you can get it off Summoner's Pack, so it doesn't even answer Lavinia. Well, it does. It's just like you play 1, and it's not really worth it. And here we're just dead. Okay, so we went 3 and 2. So you can play like Skywhale and stuff like that. I've played Skywhale in the past, but it's pretty underwhelming. So Dothy Voidwalker, here we saw Lavinia, Meddling Mage. Those are all cards that are pretty good against you. If you want, you can play like a bunch of Abrupt Decays. That is an option. I don't know how good it is, but it's an option you have. So I guess I'll say that. The Leylines didn't come up much this league. Yeah, we boarded them in against Burn, but they're really for Rakdos, and we didn't see that. In general with this deck, I found that I've... Veil of Summer is like kind of a... It's a card you're like pressured to play because of Flusterstorm, but it's a card you don't really want to play. I guess I'll word it like that. I think that you could probably cut 1 Veil of Summer and play like a Colossal Skywhale or something else there. I don't think you necessarily need 3 because 7 protection feels like a lot sometimes. And with a deck like this, you're really pinched on mana. Like Veil of Summer plus Evolution, for example, is 4 lands. You need 4 lands to win with that, which feels like infinite. 3 for Neoform plus Veil of Summer is a little more reasonable, but 4 is almost impossible. So I am not in love with Veil of Summer. I've considered things like Defense Grid, but Defense Grid just gets answered by Leyline Binding or Prismatic Ending. It's just not great anymore. So that's what I've got. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever, put those in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, all that good stuff. And I guess I'll mention this now. I mean, I don't think that this will be live in a week without an ad, but this channel is recently sponsored by Eminence Gaming. So thank you to those fine folks. They're hosting a CDH tournament March 25th that's already sold out. But on March 26th, so on Sunday, there's a vintage 1K. So if you're interested, go to eminence.events. You can sign up there. It's full proxy. It's going to be a blast. It looks like there's like a handful of signups already. It caps at 64, but it's a 1K for vintage. It's going to be awesome. I'll be there that weekend if you want to meet me as well. So definitely go to Eminence and find out more information. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.